freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried.
YouTube, what it do? How y'all doing? You heard that, didn't it? You heard the song that I played in the intro? Listen to what they sung. They said, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Free from what? What that song is saying is, I would rather be a slave in heaven than be a slave on earth. Because last time I checked, all you're going to be doing in heaven is kissing God's ass. All you're going to be doing in heaven is worshiping the ground that God walks on. All you're going to be doing in heaven is sitting at the foot of God, worshiping and praising. So listen to what they made songs about back then. Slavery was so bad that they would trade physical slavery on earth for, I guess, spiritual slavery in heaven. How can I be cool with someone that says I don't see a problem with religion? How can I associate with people that say religion does good? How can I be associated with people that says I need to respect these beliefs? That song that I played, Oh Freedom, and before I be a slave, I would rather be buried in a grave, go to heaven, and worship God for eternity. I would rather be a slave in heaven than on earth. They literally took these people from their homes, brought them to America, and they not only did they make them slaves, but you literally back then, you were literally a slave physically and mentally. So you was physical slavery every day of your life. And then the only thing they gave you was more slavery. Religion is mental slavery. So they gave slaves more slavery. That's like slavery. We're not out of slavery. Slavery is still going on. Mental slavery is more prevalent now than, the physical slavery. But slavery is still a thing, y'all. It's not over. Because, yeah, we don't have to pick cotton all motherfucking day no more. But guess what? People are still praising and worshiping these gods. The same gods that watched you be enslaved the same God that watched our people be enslaved. This is the same God they worshiping. They still worshiping this God. They don't see nothing wrong with worshiping this God. They don't even think about it. Not only did this God sit back and watch it happen, but he condones it in his Bible. The people that wrote the Bible, Exodus 21, they telling you how to treat your slaves. It's all throughout the Bible. We gonna get into it, but I'm just saying for now, like, I played that song because I wanted y'all to hear what they saying. Show me where religion deserves respect. Show me where these ideas do not deserve ridicule. That song made me cry when I first listened to it. But now as an atheist, I'm thinking like, wow. And before I go home, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Free from what? Free from what? What are you free from? You're gonna be you serving a master whether you in heaven or on earth anyway. If you believe a God exists, so what exactly were they being freed from? This God watched slavery, and he said, and he thought to himself, when they done with that physical slavery down there, they gonna come up here and be slaves to me, in person, close, face to face. I cannot serve this God. I cannot worship this God. This God is not all love. This God is not all powerful. This God is not good. This God is not great. If I was God, slavery would not have happened. And I know what they're going to say. Well, but you're not God. You don't know what God was thinking. Cool. So you telling me that was cool what he let happen? Do you think it was cool? Do Christians really think that was cool? What God let happen? That song really bothers me how they would rather, they think it's freedom in heaven. You gonna be free. No, you ain't. Cause I would argue that it's worse up there. Cause 24/7 you a slave. At least they was able to go home and get some sleep. You probably can't even sleep in heaven. You probably gonna be worshiping and kissing God's ass all day, every day, all night, every waking moment in heaven. You probably kissing ass. I don't want to be there. I would not want to go there. Send me to the pits. Send me to the lake of fire. I'm not kissing no ass. These God beliefs disgust me. These God beliefs are disgusting. These God beliefs, we need to put this stuff to the side. I want people to focus on people. I'm tired of these religions. I'm tired. They control everything. I got to talk about this every day, all day, because they control everything. Religion controls everything. We slaves to religion. It's literally in the Bible. Obey your earthly masters as you would in heaven. That means you're going to be obeying in heaven too. Ain't no freedom up there, baby. Come on, get this word. Ain't no freedom up there. What are you free from in heaven? You still got something to do. And if you don't worship, why? I wonder, do you even have a choice to not worship or not in heaven? Where's the free will? When you get to heaven, ain't no free will, because you ain't gonna see ain't no free will. God already know what you're gonna do when you get there. You don't have a choice. That's where you want to go? To a place where there's no free will at all? These God beliefs are sick. These religions are sick. There is no way I can experience what the people back then had to go through in slavery times, getting whipped and shit. Cause you ain't making weight. Getting lashes. Cause you ain't making weight. I don't know what that's like, but I'd be damned if I support if God is real, he had or has the power. He could have stopped that. He could have prevented slavery. He did not. So since he did not, I cannot worship him now, because if he's all powerful, all knowing, what was he thinking to let that happen? I can't support you, because no one else has the power to stop slavery, but you did, and you did nothing. I cannot support your movement, your religion, your following. Jesus did not die for me. I don't want your savior. I don't want a savior. I don't need God. I don't need Jesus. They don't have to, I don't get my morals from them because they're wrong. How can my morals come from a system that's built on some bull? Religion is wrong from beginning to end. That's what you tell me. That's where that's where we get our morals from. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Slavery. That's slavery. You have a master in heaven. You had a master then. And for all the slaves that have passed away, maybe they in heaven. But guess what? They're still slaves because you a slave up there too. I cannot respect. Okay, if you don't know about slavery and you don't know the problem with religion, cool. Let's educate ourselves on this. Once you get educated on it, you have no excuse. It's just that simple. I don't care where you come from. Once you know, you know. And if you reject it after you know, I cannot deal with you. If you're gonna say, well, I accept that religion is wrong. I accept that it's mental slavery. I accept that it supports slavery. I accept that it endorses slavery. I accept that it's not a benefit to our people. But I'm going to believe it anyway. If you say that, I'm going to say, well, I respect you for telling the truth. Now get out of my face. I can't deal with you. I will say, well, I respect that you told the truth. But I can't respect what you in agreement with, and I can't respect you, and I can't respect what you believe. So you gotta roll. I can't deal with you. Because you're saying, even though you understand that religion is the problem, you're gonna believe it anyway. You understand slavery happened and what it was and what it looked like and what it was about, and you still support the God that let it happen. You still remember God created everything. He created this. He knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened. He knew exactly how many people was going to die, how many people would be lynched, how many people would be whipped, how many little kids would be brought into slavery. He thought this was a good idea if he let it happen clearly. And I'm supposed to support this God? I'm not gonna be no slave. Period. I don't care. I'm not. If I'm not gonna be no slave. No, not to God, not to man, not to nobody. I'm not having it. You try to enslave me, you better bring a gun with you. You better bring you a stick, a knife, a boomerang, a bow and arrow. You better bring some. Cause you might not make it out trying to enslave me. I was always sad about what happened to black people. I was always sad about it. And then I found out that the God that I served let it happen, or the God that I served actually condones it and endorses it and allowed it to happen. I had to drop it off. I dropped it off at the door. It's a wrap. Big Jeezy does not get any type of, no, I can't serve this God. And I hope they don't get y'all. Don't go back to them. You don't need them. If you out of it, if you escape that prison, that cage, that slavery, stay out of it. You don't need that to be good. If you need me, I'm here. You know where to find me at. Black Atheist Rant. My name, my face, my logo gonna pop up. But I be damned if I'm gonna know. No, I'm today is my last day. I'm done. I've been letting a couple people slide with this religion stuff because I'm cool with them. Nah, it's a wrap. No, I'm not. I don't support slavery, and I don't support anything that supports it. So if you in agreement with that, you gotta stay away from me. I can't talk to you. Can't even rap with you. Now, if you don't know, I can help you. But once I educate you, if you still say you're gonna be cool, but you gotta roll. You're God. This makes me, this is how I know this shit is man-made. Because men enslaved other men. They wrote a book about a God that wants you to come serve him as a slave in heaven. You tell me that ain't man-made? God is all powerful, all knowing. He real, right? But he endorses some man-made shit. Your God is man-made too. Jesus probably didn't even exist. Even if he did, that does not matter. I will not support this slavery. I will not bow down to this God. On Judgment Day, I'm gonna look him in his face. And if he let me, I'm gonna spit in his face. If he let me, I'll fight him. Man, look, I'm the devil, cause I'm the real enemy to Jesus and the God. I'm his enemy. He better strike me down, because if he is real, he got a lot of explaining to do. Why? What was and I don't accept when they say, well, he's God, he can do what he wants. I don't care. I don't care. My opinion on your God is that he need his ass beat. And if I could, I would do it. My opinion on your God is he's a sick slave master. We protesting. How can Black Lives Matter to you if you in support of this? How can black people, period, matter to you if you support religion, if you are religious? If you believe in God, period, how can this movement matter to you? How are you simultaneously for the people and religious? Because that don't mix. Religion is not for the people. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be a slave. That's what they should have said. I'm off, man.